For number 21 of the Unit 5 review, it says the measures of two of the sides of an equilateral triangle are 4x plus 12 inches, and another side is 6x minus 4 inches. What is the measure of the third side in inches? Alright, so first I would draw the equilateral triangle. And you know all sides are congruent. Two of the sides are that 4x plus 12. And the other side is 6x minus 4. And these are all in inches. What is the measure of the third side in inches? So this right here. But we also know that all sides are congruent in equilateral triangles, so it really doesn't matter which side, because they're all the same. So first, I would just pick two sides and set them equal to each other. If I set these equal to each other, everything is going to end up canceling out. So I don't want to use those two. I need to use this one and this one. So I have 6x minus 4 equals 4x plus 12. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve that by subtracting 4 and adding 4. And I would get x is 8. Now, if you put x is 8 here, you're going to lose credit because you didn't answer the question. What is the measure of the third side? So I go over here, and I need to plug that in to the 6x minus 4 expression. So 6 times 8 is 48, minus 4 gives me 44. And I bring up that inches because we need to go ahead and put a label on this. So the third side is 44 inches. But really, all sides are 44 inches. In 22, it says that in triangle ABC, BC and AB are congruent to each other. So we're looking at an isosceles triangle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw one. Okay, we know that these two sides are congruent, and this would have to be ABC. And I can see that BC is congruent to AB. Okay, right there. So the angle of CBA, so CBA, that's right here, is 3x plus 6. And the angle of CAB is 2x minus 18. What is the measure of BCA? So what is the measure of this one? So we're going to have to work a little backwards here. So first I'm going to have to know that this angle is also 2x minus 18. Right here. Okay. And so I can say that all three of these we can add together and we can equal that to 180 degrees. So if I combine 2, 2, and 3, we get 7x, and then negative 18 minus 18 plus 6 gives me a negative 30. For here we add 30, and we get 210, and then if we divide by 7, that gives us 30 as x. Okay, now we plug 30 back in for x for angle BCA, which is right here. BCA, it's this angle. Okay, so 2 times 30 minus 18 gives me 60 minus 18. If I subtract those, we get 42 degrees. Okay, so the problem on the back, the two problems on the back, first thing is that on these first two boxes of both problems, okay, we are just going to be listing your segments and your angles. And I can use the congruent statement for those two things. So, for example, angle A is congruent to angle P. It is important that you're using the measure of angle, these different symbols here, okay? So the measure of angle, the measure of angle. So B goes with Q, and C goes with R. Okay, now that I know that A goes with P, I know that this equals 75. B goes with Q, so this has to equal 60. Okay, and C equals R. So we know that we're going to have to add these up and subtract from 180 to get angle C, which is also angle R. Over here, angle C. Okay, segments. We have AB, the first two letters. So PQ is congruent to AB. BC is congruent to QR. And CA is congruent to RP. So now to go ahead and solve, we're going to set these different expressions equal to their corresponding angle measurements. So for the 10x plus 25 equals 75. I subtract 25, we get 50. So x is 5. For y, we're going to have to add 10 and get 70, and so y is 10. And then last we discussed that we'd have to add angles A and B. So 75 and 60 make 135, and if I subtract that from 180, my remaining angle is 45 degrees. Okay, 24 is very similar. Again, the measure of angle W is the measure of angle M. The measure of angle X is N. So we don't know N. Okay, so we know these go together. And W was M, so that means this is 64. Okay. So a measure of angle Y is 42. It also is the measure of angle O. So we know that this part right here has to be 42. This part right here. And that was the measure of angle O. So the segments, we've got MN, and that's congruent to WX. NO would be XY, and OM would be YW. So to find angle N, which is also X, we're going to go ahead and add 42 and 64. And that's 106. And I'm going to subtract that from 180, and that would be 74. Okay, so then to find angle A, we already discussed that was 42, so we're going to go ahead and set that equal to 42 and solve. So adding 6, and then if we divide by 8, we get 6. Okay, and then for B, we found that N was 74. Okay, so that means that N is congruent to X. So X is also 74. So 9B plus 11 equals 74. And that gives me 63. If I divide by 9, B is 7.